high school football season. A great matchup here tonight. We got Maysville and Crooksville, two teams coming in here. And I'm joined by Ted Snyder and the coach, Doug Clifford, over here to my left. You know, guys, we've made it to the final week of the season. I say every year it goes faster. Every year that we cover this, it goes faster and faster. Coach, I'll start with you. Crooksville comes into tonight after 4 straight losses, but they're back at home here. You know, they're back at home. Senior day, a lot of festivities going on. What's your take on what they can bring tonight?
Well, I think what they can bring is 5-5 sounds a lot better than 4-6. And if they have any pride at all, this is where they're going. This is their last stand. I mean, we're past the what if stage of the season. We're in the what it is stage. So I'm hoping they can bring their best effort tonight and not do the turnover deal. I mean, last week it was like they were selling the football to New Lexington. So if they can avoid the turnovers, I think that they have a good chance.
And then, Ted, we go over to you. We talk about the Maysville quarterback coming in with well over double-digit interceptions on the year with what Cade Rock brings to the table. How does a Maysville team that comes in, they've lost a couple of big games, and then they won one last week against Meadowbrook. What can Maysville bring tonight, and how do they limit their turnovers?
Well, I think it starts on the defensive side of the ball for Maysville. That's how they won the game a week ago. They really shut Meadowbrook down. I think Huey had under 100 yards passing for the first time all season. So the Maysville Panthers defense is coming along here in the late stages of the season. But you mentioned Week 10 already. Neither one of these teams are likely to make the playoffs, although not mathematically eliminated. They would need all sorts of help, both these teams. But Coach just mentioned that a win tonight for Crooksville could put them at 5-5. And I think if you would have told the fans and the staff prior to the season, with this young of a team, first-year head coach, you're going to go 5-5, I think they would consider that a victory.
Yeah, we mentioned a very young team. There's only a handful of seniors on this Crooksville side, so not very many celebrating senior day today in terms of what they're doing out there on the field. But, you know, the Ceramics getting ready to take the field here. Coach, what's one point here as we look at these two teams? You've coached before, a Crooksville team as well that made the playoffs. Let's look at both sides here. You're out of playoff contention, most likely, with these two teams that are towards the bottom of their division. What are you looking for here from your team to finish out the year?
Well, I think I mentioned in my first comments, I think you have to scratch down and find that source of pride. I mean, are you proud to wear red and black? Are you proud to wear blue and yellow? I mean, that's it. I mean, Maysville can't even make it a winning season. But you know, at this point, it's just tonight. There's nothing in the postseason. What's behind you is gone. So you know, it's a one-game season, and then it's on to the next sport. So I think Nate Van Meter, he was part of those Crooksville years when they had success. They went to the playoffs. They had playoff wins. And his staff is full of guys that I coached and played at Crooksville through the years. So hopefully those guys can scratch that pride. And we used to tell the kids, this is your last trip through the Silver Gate down to the old stadium. And so the next time you come through, guys, it's going to cost you $5. So it's time to play.
And I don't think anything would promote interest and participation in Crooksville football more than having a staff of homegrown people who have played here and grown up here. I think that means a lot, and I think in the coming years you're going to see Crooksville make a steady climb back to where they once were, a playoff-bound team each and every year.
Well, we talked a little bit about the youth of this team, and when you have youth, usually that provides winning later on in the year, and it could be get to 5 wins here tonight. That's definitely something to look forward to as well. We've seen Brayson Hill already start at quarterback last year as a freshman. He's in year 2. He can only grow from here. We talk about across the MVL the progression of someone like a Jake Anton and Isaiah Stevens. When they get playing time, they really exceeded their expectations later on in their high school careers as well.
Yeah, they sure have. And Crooksville started the season 4-1. Everything was looking up, but they ran into a buzzsaw in the MVL schedule, and I'm sure they'd really like to end this season on a victory and a 500 mark. Maysville, on the other hand, graduation hit them hard with Alex Bob and Wesley Armstead. Those were the two anchors of their football team the last couple years, and they're really kind of searching for an offensive identity still here in Week 10. As you mentioned, Cade Rock is better than a 2-to-1 interception to touchdown ratio. It's not what you want out of your quarterback for sure.
So you remember this game last year came down to the wire. You know, a couple big stops and an end zone push there towards the end really put this game on ice. But, you know, it was a very competitive game. I think we can expect to see the same tonight. Two teams we mentioned towards the bottom, but very similar in what they can provide. A couple turnovers, and the Maysville defense looked good just a week ago. So a lot to look forward to tonight.
Well, yeah, you know, last week against New Lex, against, you know, one of the best teams in the league, one of the best teams in the area, you know, Crooksville, they were down 12-3. They kicked a field goal. The first time they'd scored against New Lexington in like 5 or 6 years. And then, you know, I've talked to some of their fans. It's like it's the same. It's like a broken record. You know, records are what we used to listen to music on, you guys. And you know, they play well. They play with intensity, and then they go through a 5 to 10 minute period where they have complete mental lapses, turnovers, missed tackles, missed assignments, and against a good team like New Lexington, that I think that came out 37-3 or something like that or 32-3 at halftime. So they have to avoid that kind of stuff tonight, without a doubt.
So we're getting ready for kickoff here, just about 10 seconds before putting toe to rubber. Crooksville's going to kick off. It's Maysville to get the ball first. And we'll see if they can provide a punch that they did just a week ago. Not the great offensive game, only put up 13 points, but talk about the win in terms of the great defense played there as we look forward here to tonight. But senior night here, a perfect night. I think we've been blessed these past few weeks with colder temps earlier in the week, and then now we see beautiful weather here. Just about 60 degrees at kickoff in Crooksville.
Well, you know, I can't wait till the high school football season starts, you know, 6 days after July the 4th, and, you know, we'll be in the playoffs by the, you know, the end of August.
Hunter Hurst getting ready to kick this one deep. Maysville 2 returners back. One of those returners being Gator Nichols, the impressive basketball star. I'm sure he's looking ready for another great year for Maysville, making it all the way to the state finals just a season ago in that. But he's got one more football game in him here tonight, and he looks to return this one as it is kicked deep, and it'll scoot its way to the other returner there as it's fielded near the 20, and a little bit of a crease before being tackled about the 34, 35-yard line, and that's where the Maysville offense will take over. So we will see Cade Rock and this Maysville offense.
First and 10, 36-yard line.
So he will line up under center.
A little bit of wing T offense. I haven't seen that this year.
And that's going to be a handoff and a little bit to the outside, cutting forward. A big gain on first down, gets about 7. It was the carry with Cohen Llewellyn on the carry there.
And that jet sweep is a staple of the wing T offense. If you can't stop that, you're in for a long night, because the counter off of that is a fullback trap right at the middle. By the time you guys start jumping to the outside, if they have a decent fullback, he'll bump his head on the goalpost down there.
Former John Glenn coach John Kelly.
Oh my.
That was his offense.
Yes, it was.
Saw it for many, many years. When ran correctly, it's very hard to stop.
Coach Clark brought that back just a few seasons ago, if not last year, was when he really brought it back. This is a carry, and it should be enough for a first down, as there's Gator Nichols. Works his way for the first down of the game near midfield.
The great thing about the wing T offense is it's what we defensive guys call it. It's a recipe offense. If the defense does this, well, then you do that. But if they counter with this, well, then you come back to that. And so, in theory, the defense really can't be in the right position if the guys on the wing T really know the game. And, of course, John Kelly, I don't know if he invented it, but he should have gotten some dividends from whoever did, because he ran it well.
Once he had the defense leaning one way or the other, he'd hit you right in the middle with a fullback.
Rock rolls left, eyes downfield, fires high, well over the receiver.
But gauging by the many of interceptions Rock has thrown this year, I think this version of the wing T is probably features a little more passing.
Well, that was one of the things we really feared with the wing T teams, if they ever had a skilled quarterback. Because if they had that, the play-action pass system is built into this offense so well. The problem with the wing T is in long situations, play action pass doesn't stop linebackers, so you lose ground on the blitz. But if you're throwing on first down, you have an advantage. Guys are going to be flat-footed.
Rock's going to keep this himself. Going to try to get a block out front by Logan Wilhite, but not there. As the Crooksville defense swarms in to get the stop.
That was outstanding pursuit by a group of Crooksville defenders, stopping Cade Rock to a loss there. That's going to be a 3rd and very long.
Make some noise for McFadden.
Well, that was a great stop that time by number 2 for the Ceramics, who came up, got in on a tackle, turned it back to the inside. Eli Sprank, we called his name last week at New Lex many times on both sides of the football.
So now it's 3rd down and 12. Not ideal for a wing T style offense. They'll come out in a shotgun here.
This is an ideal blitz situation for a defense, and here they come.
Bring the pressure. Rock rolls right, keeps his eyes downfield, fires and completes. He's got his receiver right there on the grab is Landon Iden. That's a big first down on 3rd and long.
Looks like they'll line up in various formations, so there's not a
Bring
true.
the
The wing T's part of their package.
Right, keeps his eyes downfield,
not
fires
who
and
they are.
completes.
Well, the thing I like about that call, it wasn't play action fake. It was a sprint out or roll out. I mean, it was a sprint out pass. So the quarterback runs away from most of the pass rush just from the start of the play. So you really only had to block 1 or 2 guys in that situation, and Maysville did a great job, a great protection, perfect pass.
2 running backs next to the quarterback Rock. This is a give, and it's Wilhite. He gets a couple yards there on first down. I think about 4 to bring up a 2nd down and 6.
Good looking drive going on right here.
Well, I think the incomplete pass is really, well, they did have a tackle for a loss, but you're right, Ted. They're
mixing it up well.
And they're picking up yardage. They didn't hesitate once they lost a little bit of yardage. They came right back and picked it up. Nice drive.
4 different ball carriers on this drive for Maysville. Seen Llewellyn, Wilhite, Nichols, and of course the quarterback who was stopped for the negative gain Rock, as this will be a give to Wilhite, and he fights forward. Big push from the Maysville offensive line. I believe he's short of the line.
It's close. They're saying
he got it. All right, so negative gain right there near the marker, but good effort there from the Maysville running back. Gets the first. Big push from the Maysville offensive line.
I think he was hit right at the line of scrimmage and just kept the legs going, just like you teach a running back. Great job. Well, the ceramic defenses, they're guessing. They have no idea what's going to hit them next.
So back to the wing T, and this will be a rollout for the quarterback Rock. He's just going to fire this one out of bounds as he had pressure in his face.
One thing I did have noticed here in this first drive is Rock's not very comfortable under pressure. So if you can get some pressure on him, he'll make questionable decisions and get rid of the ball a little too early.
Well, Coach Clark is giving him really high percentage pass plays. Roll out, you only have to worry about 20% of the field, and throw it to the first guy. You usually have 2 guys in the area. The guy that's most open, throw the ball to him quickly. That's good offense.
So 2nd down and long after the incomplete pass. This is a pitch out to Nichols, and Nichols just trying to be patient there, and he gets a few yards on the 2nd down tote.
It's going to be a big 3rd down play here for the Crooksville defense.
Well, Crooksville defender came up and blew this play up. That's 55, I believe that's Browning.
Be patient there, and he was the one that was getting pressure in the face of Rock on the incomplete pass on the last down. So 2 great downs from the D lineman of Crooksville.
Well, it's 4-down territory.
Yep.
You know, it's not like you're going to ruin the season if you go for it on 4th down. So if they don't make it this time, I'm sure Coach Clark is going to fire up another offensive play.
3rd down and 6. It's a shotgun pass, and the throw is well over the head of his intended receiver. That was Owen Rusnick. So now it's a 4th down and 6. You mentioned it's 4-down territory. Coach, what are you looking for here?
Well, here comes a lot of subs. You don't bring in a lot of subs to run an offensive play. You bring a lot of subs in to kick it.
This is going to be a long. If they try to kick this, it It's going to be a 40-yarder.
Matthew Harper's going to be on to
40-yard attempt officially. I know Maysville's had some great kickers in the past.
Yes, they have.
Cody Fulkerson comes to mind.
Yes.
A Division I kicker at Eastern Michigan.
This guy's he's a senior. We'll see what he's got.
good snap, good hold, kick up. It's wow, got the distance, and that is good.
Wow.
Absolute bomb. That would have been good from 40, or like the 40-yard line.
You bet.
And the kick is good.
Well, I think we have to go advantage Maysville on the place kicking game. That could be huge tonight.
Yeah, that was a beautiful kick right there. We've seen our share of great kickers this year. I know Doug's guy up at West Muskingum, Silas Kuhn.
Yeah, that's right.
And Doug considers him a ninth-year senior.
He is. He's in his ninth year.
But he's only a junior.
Yeah, he's had a red shirt, a gray shirt, a purple shirt, the COVID years, the measles years, and I think he's got 2 years to go.
So 3-0 our score after the long field goal from Harper. I want to remind you that today's game is brought to you by the Community Bank. Now's the perfect time to join the Go Local movement by banking locally with the Community Bank.
You know, Crooksville has a talented quarterback too.
Yep.
He just has to learn to protect the football. He has to learn not to try to make something out of nothing. And if he does that, he'll be fine. Athletic ability is not in question with that kid.
I agree. He made some real athletic plays when we saw him here against West Muskingum.
So that is kicked to about the 10-yard line. And there's some blocking out in front, but wiggling his way forward and out past the 30. That's a real patient return there from Jacob Hammer. We said his name a lot a couple weeks ago. And
that's already an improvement over last week. They had a penalty on every kick that they returned. I mean, every kick they had a half the distance call. I don't think the ceramic started last week against New Lex farther out than the 15-yard line, and most times inside the 10.
We were here and saw Hammer return a couple for big games against West Muskingum, and I know made Coach Brownrigg pull his hair out a little bit there. He had a couple big ones, and they finally got him involved in the passing game. We'll see if that's the plan here tonight as they motion him in, put him in motion, as it's going to be a quarterback keeper as Brayson Hill gets to about the 39-yard line. Big gain on first down from the quarterback.
That's going to be a 7-yard gain. Nice shifty run. Right into the teeth of the Maysville defense.
That's the plan.
Little misdirection to get the linebacker stepped the wrong way. I see number 5, he took 2 steps out of the way, and he came back to make the tackle, but he took 2 steps in the wrong direction before he came back and made the play. Oh, boy. Have you guys checked out the Maysville football roster? The order that it's in?
Yeah, it's all based on seniority.
Good luck finding that guy.
A tackle made just about a yard shy of the first down, as that is Eli Harvey.
They're moving it.
They run it with a couple different people, as Eli Harvey, Cam Potter, the main two on this Crooksville team. A sophomore into junior, so we talk about the youth. Those are 2 guys getting work that you could see in the future. They're going to say first down here.
3-0. On top. 5:52 plays clock moving here.
So sort of a spread offense on this look as they send a receiver in motion. He'll get it on the jet sweep, and he's got a crease down the right side. Shrugs off a defender. Another first down. That's Eli Sprankle. Set his name on defense, and here he is getting. And now there's a flag down, so we'll hold our breath on that tote.
Well, I saw Matthew Harper for Maysville lobbying the referee for the call.
He got it, too.
And he got it. The offensive blocker pushed him to the inside, and you're allowed to push with your hands these days, but not in the back.
That might be the best kick I've seen at the high school level. Going back to that, make it 3-0. Harper, he's got a leg.
Yeah.
It was right down the middle, and it had some distance. Almost had to repark my car after that one. Scared I might get a windshield busted.
That thing was out there. It went into the darkness.
First down and 20. Hill takes the snap. Had all day to throw. Fires and pass caught. Nearly back to the line of scrimmage as it is Hunter Hurst making the grab.
They're going to get 9 of the 10 yards back. We're going to get another look at it here.
First down and
Educational
20.
Credit
He'll
Union
take the snap.
replay. He hits his receiver right in the numbers.
Fires and pass caught. Nearly
Well, I
back
tell you
to the
guys,
line of scrimmage.
that doesn't
It
look
is
like
Hunter Hurst
an offensive play from a team that's 4-5. Offensive line had the pass rush stopped, never got close to the quarterback. The receiver turned around, the ball hit him in the hands. That's great execution.
So 4 wide receivers, they motion another one, and this is going to be a give. And he's going to be hit in the backfield and flip forward. It was Maysville rusher wearing the Guardian cap. 25, not listed in the program.
Now's when you got to be cautious of the Maysville defense pinning their ears back
Oh, you bet.
and coming right after you on this 3rd and 17, 3rd and 16 situation. It's not ideal.
Well, Coach Clark knows there's a sophomore quarterback back there that throws that ball up for everybody. So we're going to see something. Oh, a little twist up front.
Now he feels the pressure, gets out of the pocket. Hill trying to make a move. He's hit hard before he's brought down, tripped up about the 37-yard line, call it there. Still a long 4th down.
He didn't have anything down the field. The pass rusher's coming. He did the right thing. But did you see how he was carrying the football? We're going to see something. Twist up front.
Now he feels the pressure, gets out of the pocket.
The loaves of bread at Kroger were easier to grab than that thing. And that was very fortunate that somebody didn't knock that ball loose.
Well, we mentioned the fumbling problems just a week ago, so we'll see how those can get shirred up the way he's carrying it. It reminded me of LaShawn McCoy. He used to grab that thing and just run with it.
Oh,
it's a high snap, one-handed grab. Almost
nice
Jeremiah
job by
Smith
the punter
there with the one-handed grab as the punt is fielded and brought down at the fair catch at the 31 by Nichols.
I mean, if this game stays close, that might be the play of the game.
Yes.
Not only did he bring a high snap down, he let the first rusher go past him, stepped up, and then punted the ball and made a nice punt.
Yeah, that was great poise to not panic in that situation. He looked very calm.
And who was that young man? Number 25 again?
That's another one that is not listed in the program, so try to get that sorted out by at least halftime. We figure out who that is, but he's making plays, and he's got the Guardian cap on, but it's the only way we know. So here comes this Maysville offense. So Rock takes the snap, pressure in his face, rolls out, he's going to throw it away.
Crooksville's been able to get some pressure on the quarterback consistently here in the first quarter.
I think all but one pass has been a rollout.
Yep.
And so what you need to do is exactly what Crooksville's doing. They're rushing from the outside and maintaining leverage on a quarterback instead of running into it like where a drop back quarterback would be. If they keep that up, then Maysville's going to have to adjust their passing game a little bit.
Coach, one thing I've noticed, and wonder your take on it, every single time he rolls out, he's without a breath even throwing it away, without even looking downfield. Would that be something to keep in mind later on?
Well, you can't really see much of the field when you roll out.
So trying to make his way for a little bit of room there, not much going for Landon Iden, so he'll be brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
Well, another blast from the pass, guys. We used to call them phone booths, and that's what it looked like that play was, ran in a phone booth because he had nowhere to go. But you're right, he's not looking downfield because when you're rolling out, you're not just standing there, you're also running. And then when that guy's running into your face, quarterbacks tend to look at the pass rush instead of looking down the field. And so if you're looking at the rusher, you can't see the receivers.
3rd down and 8. 3 receivers to the right. He dumps it out to the running back, incomplete. He was looking for his tailback, Will Height, and it'll be a punt here.
Nice series by the Ceramics that time. That was a play I'm sure that Coach Clark saw the Panthers run against Crooksville last week, that little semi-middle screen or whatever, and it worked like a charm against the Ceramics last week in a big yardage situation much like that one.
Yep. That's a bread and butter play for the Panthers.
Yes.
The short middle screen.
They ran that thing with the previous coach when I was coaching, and it tricked us.
So the snap back, and this punt's away. And it'll take a bounce for Maysville, a really nice bounce as it goes inside the 20-yard line. Nice kick. It was not the kicker Harper with that one. Instead, this one was kicked away.
Punt down at the 21-yard line
By Carson Larimer.
19. First and 10, Ceramics.
Well, Maysville failed to get a first down, but with that great bounce on the punt that wasn't fielded, they're winning the field position game. I mean, we're playing against an offense that's very young, and they're going to go 81 yards to get a score. That's putting the odds in your favor if you're on the Maysville defense.
Just under 3 minutes to go before the end of the first quarter. And I think it can all be said that the Maysville special teams is the reason this game is in their favor. The long field goal and a great punt, setting up this Crooksville offense well behind in their own territory as the ball carrier stops short of the first down, or rather the original line to game.
4-4 defense with Gator Nichols
by
the lone safety, Gator Nichols, and I just saw him commit to that run. So if they're going to commit all 11 guys to the run, that's going to be dangerous. He could really hit them with a long play over the top, especially on a play action.
Well, they're daring the Ceramics to throw the football.
They sure are.
So he's got 4 receivers to his back. This is going to be an own run by Hill, and there's a flag thrown as he barely gets back.
Hill with the keeper. That's a hold. Now do you decline this? First contact now.
Interesting decision here, Coach. You accept this or back him up for another second down? Or
I'd back him up.
You could put him in a 3rd and 10 if you decline it.
Against the Ceramics.
They're going to elect to go back, be 2nd and 20.
10 yards is a lot to gain here.
And it really puts them back inside their own 10.
Well, yeah, and look at the situation now, guys. If you hold them on this play, their punter's standing on the part of the field that's not green. And that is a huge advantage for your punt return team. That means you're going to get the ball on your side of on their side of the 50 no matter what.
So Hill takes the snap. A little bit of pressure. Steps up, and he's going to escape the pocket. But there's a defender in to make a tackle. Gator Nichols, or rather, it was Will Height in to make the stop. So Hill takes the snap.
It's very frustrating, I'm sure, for the fans to think, why isn't he throwing the football?
Escape the pocket.
But
there's a defender in to make a tackle.
He's not just throwing it up for grabs. That's even worse. So
he hung in the pocket as long as he could.
Yes, he did.
He had his eyes downfield. There just wasn't anything developed.
Well, I see. I see an improvement in his poise.
Me too.
From last week to this week.
He's got 4 total receivers. Hill keeps his eyes. He fires a ball right up in the air, and it's going to be caught and hit hard on the play by Harper.
He might have got the first
I think
down.
he got the first.
It's going to be close.
He fought for an extra 3 yards.
So that was Eli Sprankle.
I think
this officiating crew very generous with the spots here this evening.
Keeps his
on
eyes.
both
He
sides.
fires the
They're
ball
moving.
right up in the air, and it's going to be caught. And
You get another look. Watch this. He's stopped in his tracks at the 26 and makes it all the way up to the 29.5-yard line.
I didn't think he had a chance to make it. I thought, great throw, nice catch, a little bit of field position now to punt the football away. He fights for the first down.
I'm sure that's conversion there is going to make Coach Clark very upset.
Oh, no, you like that.
So it's about a gain of 1 there on the screen pass.
One of the rules of the football when it comes to pass interference is there's no pass interference behind the line of scrimmage. So you can really take advantage of that. But I think he was I think when he caught the ball, he was just across the line, but that defender was right on his back. Great coverage that time by Maysville.
Still throwing the ball on first down. Keep the defense on their toes a little bit.
So that will do it for the first quarter of play.
Wow.
A low-scoring affair as a lot of time is ticked off the clock. It's kind of just snuck up on us here. So we're finished with 3-0 your score after a long field goal by Matthew Harper. of Maysville, and that's what will be our score as we head to the second quarter. But we'll step aside. You're watching MVL football here on South 60 Films. All right, we welcome you back. Quarter number 2. The first one went fast. 12 to go here before the halftime break. Band's already playing strong. They'll put on a show, the CA Music House halftime show here at halftime. It's also senior day for the band, you know. Last time out there playing in front of the home crowd. 4 wide receivers for Hill. He takes a snap. Fires high. That could have been intercepted.
That was like they didn't hit somebody in the chest that has on a white shirt. But I think Crooksville needs a big play, guys. I think they need to play to flip the field position. I don't think they're going to grind it out on these guys. That's not the makeup of their offensive unit. I think they need a big play to, like 30, 40, 50-yard play and put themselves in 4-down territory, and then I think they have a chance to get a score. So you just look at the playbook and put that play in.
Hill, eyes downfield, rolls out of the pocket, pressure in his face. He's got to get rid of it. He steps up and spins his way, and guy's just going to find a way to get a yard there.
Well, those are the kind of plays that they stripped the ball from him.
Yeah, still holding it like a loaf of bread out there.
I heard you say he's got to throw it away. You were exactly right. He needed to throw that thing about the 4th row up there in the bleachers.
Eyes downfield, rolls out of the pocket, pressure in his face. He's got to get rid of it.
Never wants to give up on a play.
Spins his way.
You got to admire that mentality.
Find a way to get a yard
times
there.
you just got to eat the football.
Yep. All right, so we can get this punt away. So we can get a better snap.
So Brody Cottrell was the one that punted it nicely last time. We misspoke by saying it was 25 who's not in the program, so we'll see what he's got in store this time. Another big boot. And it will check at the 40 and go out of bounds. So good field position here for Maysville as they try to get something going. With a great kicker, you only need about, 20 yards to get in a good spot?
That's right. Yeah, we were all, especially me, I thought they were going to come out and run a play on 4th down, try to get the first down. And little did I know, they brought out the guy with the cannon hooked to his foot.
Yeah. Maysville has a great soccer team as well. See, Cam Parker, among others, on that team for several years. Not sure if Harper is a soccer player or not, but right now this is going to be a give. And it's going to be a couple yards, but there was a flag down.
I think they're going to get him. The timing of that flag makes me think offsides. We'll wait for the official determination here.
Yes, they did. And that seemed to be right there.
Illegal substitution.
It's on the offense, so that'll move him back.
I used to think should have been illegal substitution when Sheridan put Kevin Megger in the game. I thought that was really unfair.
Penalty against Maysville. First down and 15.
So now, first down and 15. It was Crooksville on the last drive that was in a bad spot and was able to convert a big first down. Now it'll be Maysville's turn to try to do it.
Big series for Maysville. They can, even if they don't score, they can control the field position with a first down here. Oh,
this
nice tackle!
Hit hard in the backfield.
Handoff to Llewellyn. Tackle in the backfield.
Well, I thought Philo's white jerseys and yellow numbers were difficult to see. But these red numbers on black, they're just as tough for me.
I love the home black uniforms. from
Oh, no
Crooksville,
doubt.
though. They're some of my favorite uniforms in the league. Very sharp. You know, when I was younger in school, wasn't the C on the helmet red as well?
It didn't have a C, it had a star.
A star, that's what. But it was red, right?
It was black.
On a red helmet.
Yeah.
So here is Rock rolling, and he's going to fire one deep. He's got a receiver in stride. Oh, a great tackle made, but that's a big throw and catch.
It might have been White.
Coming down with it is Landon Iden.
That's exactly what Crooksville needed to do in their last offensive series, and they couldn't get it
So
done.
here is Rock
And now
rolling, and he's
Maysville's
gonna
done
fire
it, so
one
now
deep. He's
they
got a
are
receiver
in
in stride.
definite
Oh, a great
four-down
tackle.
territory. They're in field goal range right now.
That's the first time they've rolled him out to the left.
Yes, it is.
He's been rolling out to his right. There he might have caught the defense a little off guard by directly rolling out to his left.
If you're that right side cornerback, you've had it pretty easy tonight. And all of a sudden, it's not easy.
Sprankle with the touchdown saving tackle there, as this will be a give to Will Height. Will Height lowers his shoulder, gets forward, and he gets about 6 on that carry.
Great blocking on that play.
And you can see any time after a big play like that, it really puts a little pep into the step of the offense. And you see the great blocking and great effort on the run.
Brownies coming back.
But if Crooksville could hold them to another field goal attempt, they'd keep this game still within one possession.
I think the Panthers are thinking 7s here.
Back to the wing tee. They motion a running back, and it's Llewellyn, and he jukes a couple defenders, sees a crease forward, goes right, and works his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Llewellyn. So before you know it now, it is a 9-0 Maysville lead.
There was one block on the edge that sprung this whole thing.
Landon Iden, I believe.
Right there.
Number 11, you bet. It was a key block on the whole play.
It sure was. It set everything up downfield.
So what you have to do as a defender is you have to plant that outside leg and knock the blocker down. You can't let him push you to the outside. You have to squeeze that hole down instead of making it wider.
So now Harper will showcase that leg on a PAT. Snap, good hold. He just drills that. It might hit one of the cars on the road as they drive by. So 10-0 the score.
It's been a while since we've seen a place kicker with that much both leg strength and accuracy, both.
Well, and altitude.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a pro kick.
It does. You know, we talk about John Kelly and John Glenn. When he had Aaron Bates as his quarterback, punter, and kicker, he kind of did everything for them. But I once saw him kick a 48-yarder, and it had 10 yards. He could have kicked it from 55.
Where'd he go?
He played at Michigan State.
Yes, he did, because I saw the game when he ran a fake punt.
He did.
And threw a pass, I think, and got the first down.
Yeah, I bet the other team didn't know the holder was a former high school quarterback.
Exactly.
And a pretty darn good one to boot. And he got all of his accolades from his punting and kicking abilities, but he was a very, very good quarterback.
Well, you know, you see punters and place kickers in college, and I'm sure some of that's all they've ever done, but a lot of times that's one of your best athletes that plays something else on the field.
So Harper kicks this one deep, and it'll be fielded around the 20, and there's Hammer again on a big return. Well past the 30, near the 40, still on his feet past the 50. He might go, as it's a diving tackle attempt before he's out of bounds, but there's Hammer in the return game.
Well, that's the big play we were talking about. That's what they needed. Now, see what they can do with it.
He consistently brought kickoffs back to the 35 or 40 when we saw him against West Muskingum, but they couldn't get the ball in his hands offensively. I think you need to get this kid the ball out in space, throwing some screens, some pitch. We'll do whatever you have to do to get the ball in number 11's hands, because he has the ability to make big plays.
He was so efficient in the return game that once the halftime break hit, Silas Kuhn put everyone on the ground. He kicked it short every single day. They'd rather have him at the 35 than avoid a big gain. So hammer again.
Gator Nichols saved a touchdown for Maysville on that return right there.
First down from the 27-yard line.
So now first down from the 27.
Position for the Ceramics of the game.
And this will be a quarterback keeper as Hill fights forward. He's going to be short of the first, but a big gain on first down.
That's a great start for this series of plays. Now the playbook is wide open for the Ceramics. They can run whatever they choose at second down to about 3. Here in 4-down territory. See if they can come away with a score here.
You know, look, I love the way he carried out that fake. 3 different Maysville defenders went for the running back, and Hill kept the ball. Great execution.
Second down and 3. Press coverage on the outside. It's going to be a run right. And trying to leap a defender, but instead gets upended. As there on the carry was Eli Harvey.
To what are the referees talking about now?
Injured player, I believe, Coach. Went down momentarily.
Okay.
He didn't want to come out of the game, so he popped back up.
Oh, I see.
He popped back up and realized he was actually injured.
He's at 6'2". Another big freshman. He was trying to come out on his own power, but instead, he's going to stay.
Well, this is not the week you want to sustain a all winter long injury, that's for sure.
Especially if you're a basketball player.
Oh, my. Yeah, some of the most nervous people in the state of Ohio right now are basketball coaches.
Week 10 of the football season.
Especially when your team is, not close to a playoff spot. You just think, all right, just get out of there healthy. Get me on the hardwood.
Especially Dave Brown of Maysville.
Yeah.
Watching Gator Nichols and Kate Rock out running around out there.
I was thinking of Jeremy Dewar at New Lex.
Yeah. His whole team's out there on the football
He's probably
field.
not going to be serious about winning until about February.
Yeah.
Hanson. You got Bentley or Isaiah Stevens. Both Stevens. Yeah.
As well as Lane Ratliff.
Yep.
Malachi Thresher. Paul Stinson. They're all.
What's the number on this guy?
73, I believe, Coach. Or is it 78?
It's 73. That is Austin Stallings. So a freshman lineman comes in at 6'2".
So many freshmen and sophomores, not just on the roster, but contributors. They're in there each and every down.
They have to be.
Yeah.
There's 4 seniors on the team.
So they motion hammer. They don't go to him. Instead, it'll be the quarterback. Hill lowers the shoulder. I think he's got the first down.
In all your years, when you were a head coach, did you ever have a team this young?
Yes. Yeah, my first season, we were near. We didn't have to play any freshmen. We played almost entirely a sophomore team. And I think Casey Valley was on a team. There were only like 19 kids on the team. And,
wow.
And I think they were all sophomores. So, yeah, every now and then that happens at Crooksville.
It has to change your coaching mentality, doesn't it? I mean,
oh, no doubt. We used to say when we put the second team in, everybody in the first team just changed spots. Nobody came out.
First and 10 on the 16. There's a run. Oh, just tripped up there.
Great
Harvey.
When the carpet monster got hammered, he'd have been in the end zone.
Yeah,
Good blocking.
He saw some open space and went for it.
So just under 7 minutes before halftime. Crooksville trying to find the end zone. If they work their way in, it becomes a 3-point game, and from there you can get a couple stops, and you're back in this thing, and they get ball at the second half. So
You bet. You don't want to go into halftime with a 2-score deficit, because if the team scores first, and then all of a sudden that makes it 3 scores, and that's tough. So if they can get a score here, they're in the game.
Here's the quarterback, Hill. He keeps going
Not this time.
backwards.
Whoa,
That's not
whoa.
good. As he shrugs off a defender. I tell you, he doesn't go down.
He's a quarterback with a fullback mentality. Another ceramic down.
Yeah, I see that. And that was the first play on this series that I can remember them losing yardage. They've been going 2, 3, 4, 5 yards a chunk, and that's been keeping them on schedule. Now they're going to be in a 3rd and 7. The saving grace is they're down inside the 15, so no doubt this is 4-down territory.
Well, their best play has been that quarterback keep. You've talked about the fake. that doesn't go unnoticed for the Maysville staff upstairs, and you set your defense. You take a chance. Okay, let's stop this play no matter what, and if we don't get it right, well, we'll come back and play again. But that time they were ready for it.
50-50 ticket. Go ahead and please pull that out.
So attending to the injured player. You know, it's a third down here, 3rd and 7. Inside the red zone. You got to think two straight plays here to get you at least a first down, right?
I think they'll be throwing it. I think I'm the defensive coordinator for Maysville. I think I'm telling my secondary, be ready. We're going to go with the blitz. We're going to put a lot of pressure on him right away. I would leave one linebacker back to be a spy on Hill, because if he sees pressure, he's going to take off. And you need someone specifically assigned to stopping that. Right now, this young man's on the field. He's been down a long time.
Second quarter action also taking place in Perry County tonight. New Lex, they have an 8-3 lead.
Now for
So it looks like they will get him to his feet.
Mary's up.
21. Riverview 0.
7-7.
And it appears that is Eli Sprankle.
Gordon 7.
Key contributor, both sides of the football.
Sheridan 3.
He is walking off under his own power, though. So hopefully he'll be able to check back in this game at some point.
West End 21.
You know, on those NFL games, they take a guy at the tent, he can barely move, and he comes back out, and he looks like he's, I'm thinking, what are they giving that guy in the tent?
Right.
So now 3rd down and 7 to go. Looks to be the pistol formation, 3 wide receivers. And this will be a play action. Hill rolls to his right. Eyes downfield, throws one well beyond the end zone.
Yeah, he just threw that one away. That's a good decision on his part. He did not have anybody open in the end zone. They were well covered.
We see those wholesale changes coming in here, Coach. That can only mean a field goal attempt coming here for Crooksville.
Hunter Hurst.
This is going to be a 30-yarder officially.
Well, I know the kicking coach for Crooksville. There's not a better kicking coach in this area. Matt McIntyre does a great job with that.
So this is Brody Cottrell trying it from the 20. Good snap, good hold. Kick is blocked. It's up in the air.
It's going to be trouble.
And it's still available. It fell on there by a Crooksville player. I mean, that could have been easily grabbed and ran all the way back.
There were several Maysville players looking up, trying to locate the football. Unable to do so.
So a tough break from Crooksville, who really got something going on that drive, getting down the field. With a great return by Hammer, set him up, but they will not have any points to show for it.
He's just going to have to return that thing all the way to the end zone next time.
Yeah. It's hard to believe he still doesn't have a touch in this game.
Yeah, I think if you're on the Crooksville coaching staff offensively, you need to find a way to get number 11 the football in his hands any way you can.
That's so frustrating to be right there at the door. The kids start playing really well, and you come up short, and then it's the block field. I mean, that's tough to take, and that's how the Ceramic season has gone, especially here in the second half. Yeah. Nothing's really gone their way, and it's been difficult every game.
Ran into some awful good teams here in the second half of the season.
So this is going to be a carry, maybe a yard there on first down, as it's Gator Nichols.
I thought we might see the home run ball on that call. You know, I mean, Ceramic's chins are on their chest and they're
quick
a little deflated. Yeah. Throw that kid that went down the sideline that last series.
2nd and 10 now for the Panthers. Up to the line of scrimmage.
So now 2nd down and 10.
Nichols to his left.
Wing T here for Maysville. You got 5:30 to play. And there is a give to Will Height. A few yards on 2nd down.
Fairly conservative approach here from Coach Clark. And they're taking care of the football. They have a 2-score lead. They think that might be enough, That might be enough tonight.
They've been playing their best defense the past few weeks, the Maysville Panthers. They did a heck of a job against the Colts of Meadowbrook a week ago. I want to say it was really low scoring, 13-6.
I believe it was. I think that was a score. But that was a great defensive stop down here. We kind of got sidetracked with a couple injuries and a block kick, but that was a great job by the defense to stop that drive.
See if they roll out the quarterback rock left.
Look
it's going to
out.
be a double reverse. Nichols gets it, but he is short of the first down on third.
That exchange looked awful quick. It was like bang, bang. Both handoffs. We're going to get another look at both handoffs. I don't know if the timing was disrupted, but right there, bang, bang. It was like both running backs were at the mesh point at the same time.
Newark Catholic used to run that inside counter out of that wing T offense. And whenever we played them, we thought if we held them to an average gain of like 11, we'd done a great job. Because a lot of times they'd run that about 3 times a game and they'd score twice on it. Okay, here we go.
Now 4th down, a great punt from the Maysville punter the last time. We'll see what he's got in store. As that ball is drilled, and it's going to take another bounce for Maysville. Great punt. That was struck by Carson Larimer again.
Every time that football lands right in the middle of a bunch of players who have their back to the football, it's always a dangerous situation there. Those footballs take some awkward bounces.
Most teams have a call word, and that tells your guys to, get out of the way, run to the sideline, and get away from the football. Don't look up for it. That's one of the things you teach guys on the punt. Don't look up for the ball, because if you do, there's going to be a helmet under your chin. But just run away from the football. See if the Schrammers can mount an offensive attack here with 3:45 to go.
Plenty of time.
So here's Hill. He fires on first down. That pass is incomplete.
It's right on the money.
It was. That should have been caught. That football hit his receivers right in the hands.
He's going for Jacob Nelson. Running back lined up in the slot there. Incomplete. So now 3:44 to play.
He threw a bullet with Hill, who started off 3 of 3, is now over his last 3, so 3 of 6 on the night, 29 yards.
4 wide receivers for Crooksville. Hill, tons of time, fires a deep ball, and no flag as there's a little bit of contact there. Ball was overthrown, and there to make the contact was on the defensive side by Keaton Bryan.
That's a good no call. The feet got tangled up.
I think both players were looking back for the football.
I think the defender had the better position on that because he was on the back shoulder and a little further up the field than the receiver. I mean, that's what you teach your defensive backs is don't get beat deep. If that guy's running past you full speed, he's not going to the bathroom.
That one needed to have a little more air in there.
So now it brings up a 3rd down and 10. And there's a little bit of emotion as Sprankle's back in the game. He gets tripped up, but he's got the first down. So a big end around there from Eli Sprankle. Good to see him back as they pick up a first down.
You get another look at the jet motion. You see right there. Quick little handoff. Great blocking on the perimeter.
Yes, there was.
Just over 3 minutes before the halftime break. 4 wide receivers for Hill and the Ceramics offense. They motion, and there's going to be the first carry of the game for Hammer. Hammer with a spin move, and he gets a couple yards on the first down end around.
And Jacob Hammer, one of the few seniors on this team, so definitely going to miss his services next year as he's in all likelihood playing his last game in a Crooksville uniform.
This is when the Ceramics need to hurry. They're taking way too much time.
No sense of urgency at all.
That clock's going to go pretty quick here. And, you want to be able to have a timeout or two at the end, but You need to get that play in the game. You should know what you're going to do, but before the last play is over.
This is going to be Hill on the carry. He's got nowhere to go as he's tackled by a bunch of Panthers. And to your credit, Coach, just over 2 minutes now.
Now on a 3rd and long.
Well, I think the Maysville defense has figured out that the quarterback fake keep around the left end. I mean, I think they.
3rd down and 8.
Craig Clark's got 3 timeouts in his pocket here, Coach. Surprised he didn't use one on 3rd and long right there. Try to conserve some time in case he gets the football back.
Well, I would call timeout after this play if they don't get the first down. If they get the first down here and you burned one of your timeouts, well, then you've saved them from using one of theirs. And the Ceramics are in no hurry to get to the play. I mean, they're taking a lot of time between plays.
Here's Hill with some time. He fires deep, and it is going to be intercepted. Ball picked off there by Cohen Llewellyn. And the Maysville defense coming up with a big play here before halftime.
We'll get another look at it here. I think
he was hit.
I think his arm was hit right on the release. Right, yep. Made that ball come up well short of his intended receiver. He didn't see that pressure coming from the backside.
As he matures as a quarterback, and that kind of, as a protection develops like that, he'll step up and throw it instead of staying where he's at and winding up. I mean, I think that I've heard guys in the NFL say being open in pros is not the same as being open in college.
Sure is.
So he needs to step up and throw that ball, but he'll do that. He'll do that. 121. That's for the defense has to hold on here. They cannot give up another score.
This is Gator Nichols. He gets to the 39-yard line. I think they're content with taking a 10-point lead to half.
I think you're right. I think Coach Clark, I think he doesn't think the Ceramics can score on his defense. He has a 2-score lead right now. If he gets a score here, that's nice. But if he doesn't, well, so what?
Great penetration there.
Nice job that time on the inside.
Yeah,
Handoff to Ivy.
Let's see. Now
that was 52, Chris Taylor.
Well,
sophomore, 195-pound sophomore.
I'm going to say he gets a lot of that from his daddy. His daddy was a good football player, very good football player.
I have to imagine that the bulk of these players had a dad, a granddad, a brother, an uncle, somebody who played football for Crooksville. And that's what driving down the road here, passing the old Village Park. This is a beautiful stadium, but I just get to wondering how the old-timers feel about leaving all that tradition and memories and history up the road at Village Park. The younger generation probably is not that attached to Village Park.
You want to know how they feel?
Yeah.
We hate it.
Okay.
3rd down.
If I didn't get my point across, I say, we hate it. No, you're right. You're exactly right, Ted. I mean, that was I think half the teams we played were intimidated as soon as they walked in because the crowd was packed around the fence. It was a great place to play. It was a great home field advantage, no doubt.
So Nate Van Meter burning a timeout for Crooksville as Maysville fires this out of bounds. It was Rock's pass. So Crooksville is going to get the ball back with about 52 seconds. And reminder, they will get it to start the second half. So maybe they'll try to get in at least field goal range and hope it's not blocked this time.
Who's the kickoff guy?
For who?
Hammer? You said?
Jacob Hammer.
He's back deep.
Jacob Hammer.
That's true. I was going to say, I'd tell him, catch the punt, run the ball.
So we've seen a bunch of great punts, about 2 already from Larimer.
Listen to me every morning.
Well, I think
On Y107.3 in Zanesville.
I think they've had their return guy a little deep. The ball has bounced in front of him every time. They've been good punts, but they have bounced in front of him and haven't not close to it being fielded. I think someone had to use a timeout.
Maysville called that timeout.
They didn't have enough guys on their punt team.
It's going to leave them with 1 remaining. And Crooksville's kept all 3 of theirs.
This is the time of the game when I would tell the referees that if I call timeout, throw me out of the game before you stop the clock. You don't want to use that timeout now. You want that clock to run.
So if you don't get a big return, you're just going to run it out here, Coach?
No, I'm going to have my quarterback throw that thing down the field. It's not like it's going to be ruining the season. Throw that thing. But I'm thinking I might try to block the punt. Now, I don't think they're going to go the length of the field in 50 seconds or 45 seconds. I'm going to try to block the punt.
Rock is the up man, so I don't think he'll be taking the snap, but it's something to note as the punt is away. There is Hammer. He's going to let it bounce, and this one's going to be the few punts that goes backwards to the Crooksville advantage. So they're going to get it about the 40 with 43 seconds.
We have a Crooksville player going to leave the game on the cart.
Yeah, that was the young man who went down in the first quarter. Tried to pop back up. He took his pads and jersey off, but I thought his number was 79, but we don't have a 79 on our roster.
I think that was 73, Austin Stallings, the freshman we saw earlier.
I don't think that's him. See if we can find Stallings if he's on the field somewhere. And maybe that is him, but Austin looked a little bigger than that. And Austin listed it well over 200 pounds.
So this is going to be a give.
Oh, nice play, 7.
And there's getting pulled backwards is the quarterback, Grayson Hill, and he's going to try to keep running, but he stepped out of bounds.
Hard to get to the ground.
First contact there.
Well, number 7 for Maysville, Cohen Llewellyn, has a nice job of turning that play back to the inside. His teammates just didn't come up quick enough to throw him for a loss, but they're going to mark him at at the original line of scrimmage?
Right at it, yeah.
That's where he stepped out of bounds. He thought he didn't. That's why he kind of stepped up and kept running, but the refs were on top of it. So we got 4 wide. And Hill gets the carry again, so he was playing running back here on this drive. And he stays on his feet, gets to about the 45 before he steps out. 24 seconds before the halftime break. And there's a flag, and you might think this might do it for the half.
Well, it's on the ceramics.
Seems like these final 2.5 minutes have taken as long as the entire first half combined. This pace of play really slowed down.
Want to remind you, the CA Music House, play music for life. Join us for the CA Music House halftime show. A couple bands, Maysville and Crooksville, getting ready to put their best efforts forward in front of this senior night crowd here at Crooksville.
A great crowd here.
From the 28-yard line.
No matter the record, Ceramics fans support their football team.
You know, there used to be a guy on the radio, I think his name was Jim Fredericks, when I first came to town. And he made a comment on the air that if you were a burglar on Friday night in Crooksville, this would be a great place to make a living.
Yeah.
4 wide receivers, Brayson Hill steps back. He's going to load this one up, and it is going to be intercepted. Great play on the defensive side of the ball as that one was picked off by Landon Iden.
Yeah, it was a very athletic play by Iden. We're going to get another look at it here. Ohio Educational Credit Union replay.
Good pass rush by number 53 that time for the Panthers.
I think the pass rush may have affected that pass as well,
I do
Coach.
too.
Wasn't a bad ball. I thought Hammer had great positioning there, but
When I looked at
the inside route.
the last guy on the roster, Jarek Winland, 53, caused that ball to be to float a little bit. And, no quarterback stats are improve if he's throwing from his back or knocked down or his arms being hit. So great job by the Panther defense to get that turnover.
Rock under center. They motion Nichols, and it'll be a double reverse. This one is Llewellyn.
Well, they may have tricked a few guys, but they didn't trick, is that 64?
First half.
50? I can't see the numbers. Whoever it was for the Ceramics, it was a great play. But they're still down 10-0 here going into halftime.
So that will do it for our first half of play. We've seen a long field goal, and we saw a great pass to set up the Panthers inside enemy territory, followed by a great touchdown run. That's been all we have so far in this one. 10-0 Maysville lead. It'll be the Crooksville Ceramics to get the ball to start the second half. But we will step aside, let you enjoy the CA Music House halftime show from both bands. A reminder, you're watching MVL football right here on South 60 Films.
Now it's time for the halftime show featuring bands from both high schools, presented by CA House Music. Play music for life.
Someone told me that. Yeah, we'll, I don't think they
band will now play Macklemore's Thrift Shop. Please welcome to the field our Maysville cheerleaders. Crooksville High School Marching Ceramics. This season, we proudly present our show titled Beyond the Horizon. Join us on our music journey as we brave the storm, rise above the challenges, and awaken to a new dawn. Our journey begins with Into the Storm, a powerful piece by Robert W. Smith, capturing the intensity and determination of facing the unknown. Inspiration is drawn from I Can Go the Distance by Michael Bruton, reminding us we have the strength within to push forward no matter the odds. Leading us on this adventure are our talented field commanders, Noah Peck and Angelina Wood, and under the guidance of band director Anthony Dunlap and assistant Carrie Spring, we invite you to sit back, relax, and journey beyond the horizon with us.
In the mind as a once calm sea, now engulfed by a relentless storm. The horizon, once clear and serene, is now obscured by dark, rolling clouds. Lightning bolts of anxiety strike without warning, illuminating the chaos with harsh freedom flashes. Sparks crash like waves against the fragile shore of sand, each one more powerful than a giant of glass. beacon of light breaks through the darkness, signaling the beginning of a healing journey. The once turbulent sea of the mind begins to calm as the winds of confusion and the thunder of anxiety gradually subside. The horizon, previously obscure, now starts to reveal a distant, promising glow.
Probably watch Bikes tomorrow. No, he is. No, yeah, he's already like, he's only 5 months old.
Have no fear, the state-bound marching bands are here, and Slimer doesn't stand a chance when the bands join forces to perform Ghostbusters. Marching Band Finals in Piqua on Sunday, November the 3rd. The MVL is proud of you.
Thank you for watching the band halftime show presented by CA House Music. Play music for life.
on the ledge there.
All right, we welcome you back. Half number 2 here at Crooksville. You know, it's a 10-0 game. Maysville, they had the touchdown run. They had the long field goal. And not much else. So expect a lot here. Crooksville trailing by 10. They do get the ball to start the second half.
Well, I think if I'm Nate Van Meter, I'm going to tell my team, guys, we could have had worse field position for the second week in a row. Let's get the ball up the field, and then when we get it in the 4-down territory, let's get it, let's come home with a score. And that cuts it down to a one-score deficit. So here's their first chance to do that.
Browning Hammer back to return.
So the electric hammer back deep. See if they kick it short and make the adjustment that West End did just a few weeks ago. And they're kicking it in the direction of the other return man, and it is fielded about the 15. He's got a crease and some blocking, and he gets to another positive gain to about the 35, mark at the 36.
Good place to start from.
Brian. First and 10, Ceramics.
So this is an important drive. You look at it, you come out, probably have something scripted here, Coach, you think? Coming out of this trail, trying to get some points on the board?
Well, if not scripted, you at least have an idea of what might work better than other things. And I think they're going to have to get away from the quarterback keep and give that ball up in there. There it is, nice option play.
So Hill will keep it. He stays on his feet, makes a couple jukes. He's beyond midfield. A big gain on first down on the read option.
Now what's different about that play than the other quarterback keeps, there was no pitch back on those previous plays. That time he had the option to pitch the ball to the trailing halfback. The defensive man went toward the trailing back, and that tells the quarterback, turn upfield. Usually if you tell him if you can't see his chest, cut that thing up.
So a big gain on first down. Ball on the 49-yard line. And he's going to keep it himself again. Tries to get to the edge. He's got some space out there, and he's got some blocks in front. He's past the 30, near the 20 before he's pushed out of bounds. Two big runs from the Crooksville quarterback.
Hill with the keeper.
Well, Nate Van Meter told me last week at New Lex, he says, we have about 3 kids on this team that are playmakers as far as, be able to make a big play, make a difference. So we just have to keep the ball in their hands. And one of those kids he talked about was Brayson Hills. And that's what they've done here in the second half. Their best football player is carrying the football both times.
I agree.
There is a flag down. It's holding on the offense. It was about the 28. The flag was placed there.
You can just see the athleticism and talent when he's out there.
But this is the kind of stuff Crooksville has to, I'm not going to say you have to worry about it next week.
Yeah.
But they need to eliminate penalties. They've not had the fumbles like they did last week. They've had a couple interceptions, but they were extenuating circumstances on that. Hill was being pounded when he was throwing the ball, but they had to eliminate these mistakes.
So it's still a first down after the play. The holding call was along the run. This is a fake run, whether it's going to be a run. A little bit of a nice design as Hill gets free, makes a couple more jukes, holds on to the football before he's tackled at the 25.
Tell you what, swinging that football around.
Yeah.
He really needs to tuck that football away.
I'm trying not to even think about it, Ted. I mean,
it's just out there for the taking.
First and 10, 25-yard line.
Well, the guy who's going to cause the fumble is going to be the guy that Hill can't see.
Yep.
Be some guy from behind, just reach out and smack that ball, and it's going to pop right out.
That's why you'd love to see him carry that ball high and tight.
Yep. I think Coach Van Meter wants to see him carry that ball across that last stripe.
25, ball placed there will be another run for Hill, and it's been nothing but that so far on this drive, and it's worked. This one past the 20, a big gain on first down.
15 is determined to get one in the end zone on this possession. He's running
second down and 4.
Maximum effort in there.
Well, you can tell your guys, don't worry next week, fellas, no sprints.
Yep.
So leave it all on the field tonight.
second half of action. Clock moving now. 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. Maysville.
So second down, ball on the 19-yard line. This will be a running back carry, as it will be a give to Eli Harvey. He'll get a few yards there.
You know, I think Maysville lined up that time with 3 down linemen instead of the usual 4 they've had most of the night. I'll take a little closer look here on the next play.
Third down and 1.
So just 1 yard to gain. You got to think they do it twice after a kick that was blocked earlier in this contest. I think you run the ball with Hill.
1, 2, 3. There's 4 down linemen and 2 outside linebackers walked up to the line of scrimmage.
And that's going to be Hill. He's got a running back to his left. He's not going to option to him. He's going to keep it himself, and he's going to have the first down.
Needed 1, got 2.
You know, Ted, that kind of looked like the run-pass option, you know, because he had that ball up high in his hands like he might throw it to the outside, and I really hesitated. He didn't take off run that corner like he has been.
It looked like he had an option to pitch the football to 25 if he wanted to, but he elected to keep that.
First and 10.
I think he had that option, and I think he had a receiver right there on the perimeter too. Here we go.
What kind of formation you call this?
Well, we
got 3 in the backfield with the quarterback.
Get that reverse wishbone look.
And that's going to be a give, and on some space
Get in there.
Into the end zone for the touchdown goes Hunter Hurst. Touchdown Ceramics. Just how you script it to start the second half.
And the TD celebration is on in Crooksville. We have a ball game. 10-6. Extra point pending for the Ceramics.
Little counter play in the backfield that time. Great blocking and touchdown city.
Brings this Crooksville fan base to life.
Well, we talked about this is what Crooksville needed to do, and it's exactly what they did. He come out, took it down the field. Now if we can just get enough guys on the field for the extra point, here we go.
So 10-6 the score, the extra point, up and good. So we have ourselves a 3-point game.
That changes everything. The mentality of the head coaches, of the players. We got a whole new football game.
Well, you know, that's a great sign. You come out second half in week 10, you're down 10 points. You don't go 3 and out. You go down the field. You execute well. You have a penalty for a setback. You overcome it. Take it in for the touchdown. Oh, that's a great drive.
And we mentioned pregame, neither one of these teams are playoff bound, so this is their final game of the year. And you always have to wonder, you know, how much fight you have left in you when you're in that situation. Both these teams have came in here playing to win this football game.
Well, I'm impressed with Maysville. They've made very few mistakes offensively. And that's the first, of course, that's the first score they've given up. I think we heard our radio counterpart say that Crooksville had a total of 66 yards in the first half. They had more than that on that drive.
I agree. They sure did. They went right down the field, and it was all on the ground. Didn't have to attempt a single pass.
I believe they started from their own 35. So that's just about 1 yard short of their total output from the first half.
So now the man that scored the touchdown is going to kick it deep as Hurst puts toe to rubber, and that one is fielded by Llewellyn, the lone touchdown scorer for Maysville. He might have another one as he gets past the 45, and he's being chased down about the 33, steps out of bounds. A big return this time by the Maysville Panthers.
Great response from the Maysville Panthers. Come back out after that first score they've given up all night and come back down with the kickoff and puts them in 4-down territory or field goal range immediately.
The ebbs and flows of the football game. We're going to see right there, number 22 for Crooksville drives them out of bounds, but had the wherewithal to hold up and not commit a 15-yard penalty.
From the 30-yard line.
So the ball placed on the 30. And you got to think that's great for this. I mean, they're right in field goal range now.
Oh, yes, they are.
For the Panthers, they're up by 3. Their first drive here in half number 2.
Quarterback's under center.
This will be a give to the tailback, Will Height. He's tackled right at.
He didn't make it to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he was stopped in his tracks by number 56, Gavin Mount. Just 5'8", 170 pounds, playing on the interior of the defensive line.
You got to do what you got to do.
I think Brayson Hill's in the zone. He's sitting there on the bench, not on the defensive side of the ball here. He's bobbing his head. He's ready to get back out there. 7:35 to play in the third quarter. 3-point lead for the Panthers. They motion Llewellyn, and this is going to be Rock rolling out left. He throws it deep. That ball is incomplete. I thought he brought it down. That would have been a great throw and catch.
The receiver had it in his hands. The defender didn't quit on the play. That's one thing you teach defensive backs is don't quit on the play. No matter how bad it looks, keep struggling. Nice job that time by the defensive back.
Eli Sprankle.
Outstanding defensive position owned by Sprankle. We're going to get another look at it here. Ohio Educational Credit Union replay. As that ball was up for grabs, either player with an opportunity to make the play.
Its intended receiver was Owen Rusnick. He had a big catch earlier on a drive. So now it's third down and long. They go out with a wing tee. And he's going to get blitzed and sacked on the play. Two Ceramics in there. Initial contact made by Jaron Bauman.
Nice play. Defensive play of the night. Because that may have taken him out of field goal position.
62, Ethan Miller was in there as well for the Crooksville Ceramics.
Here comes a lot of subs in the game. It's either going to be a place kick or a punt.
I have to believe this is going to be a punt here, Coach.
I don't know. You would think so.
It is Carson Larimer ready to punt this one away.
Boy, this is fake punt territory.
It sure is.
And your quarterback's the up man here. So.
You know, guys, you better be awake. I don't think this is going to be a punt. Oh, they tricked me.
And Larimer puts this one deep. It bounces and checks up about the 11, where it will bounce about pretty straight up there. So it'll be checked up about the 10-yard line, so they got to go 90 yards.
You know, that was a good place for a fake punt, but I tell you what, that is a great call by Coach Clark. Tell your defense, we're going to pin them deep, get the ball back for us. We'll win the game of field position. We hold them here in 3 plays. We're going to get the ball back about the 50-yard line, if not better. So get out there and get the job done, D.
Momentum on the side of the Ceramics, however, to begin the second half.
Music blasting, the band playing well here on senior night. You come out with the opening drive touchdown to start the second half. Nothing but momentum on their side now. This is Hill, and he's going to make a couple moves. Gets to about the 11, maybe 12.
Hill with the carry.
Well, the halftime show, the bands combined from both schools, and with the final number, that was impressive. It was a great job by both bands.
Second down and 7.
Yeah, the overall experience seeing a game here is second to none. This stadium is really something else.
Well, you should see the facility behind us, Ted.
I see the weight room.
Oh my!
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's
really
first
nice.
class.
It sure is. If memory serves me correct, wasn't this the old practice field?
This was the junior high field.
Oh, the junior high field.
So there is Hill to the outside, stays in bounds, stays on his feet. He's got a big run. Past the 40, being chased down. No one has that kind of speed. Hill all the way to the house for a Ceramics touchdown.
Ceramics!
Wow.
Grayson Hill has about 150 yards rushing in this third quarter.
I tell you what, I saw a guy throw a block behind the runner. That's a cardinal sin. Never block behind a guy who's 20 yards down the field.
Yep.
Oh, my heart just about came out of the chest on that one. What a play.
Hill is fired up. As we just talked about momentum, I don't think there's any on the Maysville side right now. 2 straight touchdowns.
That's a play you see a senior make.
Yep.
Not a sophomore.
Good snap. good hold, kick up, and good. So we got ourselves a 14-10 game. You know, guys, I said last year was a classic that came down to the wire, and it looks like we're getting the same thing here tonight.
Oh, no doubt about it. Be interesting to see if the Ceramics can do a little better job on the kickoff this time.
Yeah, these two schools only separated by what, about 10 miles?
Yep.
So.
Oh, this was a bitter rivalry. Yeah. All the time I was at Crooksville, I mean, it was no lost love between these two schools. And I remember a big running back for Maysville. His last name was Harper. And I mean, he was a baby stud.
Yeah.
He was a killer, and he had a kid in the backfield with him. I think his name was Smith. And I mean, they were tough. They were always tough, regardless of their record. We knew we were in for a tough game, win, lose, or draw.
The running back I always think of at Maysville is the Wolf. Remember the Wolf kid?
Yep.
I think he ran for 2,000 yards in a season. I think it was Brian Wolf, maybe. Late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in there.
Loaded for 2 touchdowns. They now take the lead.
So we are treated to a classic here. Just over 5 minutes before the end of the third quarter. 14-10 score. Crooksville came out of the locker room with a vengeance. 2 straight offensive touchdowns and a big stop on defense after allowing a big kick return. We'll try to limit that here as they kick it deep. And instead, it'll be a pooch kick. Fielded about the 30-yard line. And they will collapse on the tackle just short of the 40. And that's where Maysville will start their second drive of the second half.
Well, you know, we have 2 teams headed for basketball season or wrestling season, and it's one of the best games I've been around for the last 2 or 3 weeks at least. It's going to be a classic game. You're exactly right, Dylan. It's going to come down to the wire, I bet, here. See if Maysville can respond.
So here comes this Maysville offense. A motion. Llewellyn, he's got the carry. He gets to about the 42 before he's tackled tons of Ceramics in there to make the stop.
Great outside letters by the last man out there on defense. Allowed his teammates to come in from the inside on pursuit. Great job that time by the defense to hold that to just a mere 3-yard gain. Well, you know, the play I thought that Maysville's defense would stop and key in on was a quarterback keep, and that's about the only play that Crooksville has run in the second half. I think they have one other running play to the running back, and everything else has been a quarterback keep.
So 2nd down and 7, under 5 to play. This is a quarterback keeper on the other side, as this is Rock getting just about a yard or 2.
Rock with the carry, tackled by now.
We're going to say 3 yards there, so it'll bring up 3rd down and 4 to go.
Make some noise, Ceramics fans. It's 3rd down.
I'll tell you what, that's a first-class PA guy, isn't it? I like it. Big play here. Big play.
They come out in the shotgun formation, 3 wide to the left of Rock.
See if he rolls to his left. Yeah, there he goes.
He does. He's thrown it deep a couple times in this formation. He does that here, and the pass is short, so just brings up a 4th down. You know, Coach Clark, he punted it last time. Maybe, you know, he saw his defense give up 2 straight touchdowns now. Do you consider going for it?
I would not. I'd punt the ball, you know, change the field position.
He's rolling out to his left like that. Very hard to get your shoulders square to make a 3rd down field.
Especially when you have a defender who has a good angle on you. And know if you stop and square up and plant your feet, you're going to get nailed. So quarterback wasn't able to do that. The defender forced him to throw the ball as he ran to his left. The result was an incomplete pass. There it is.
There's the fake as it's thrown out to the quarterback. That is Rock. He's got the 1st down. So you talked about the fake on the last punt they had attempted, and this one goes for a conversion on 4th down. And
I tell you, Craig Clark's been doing this a long time. He has a feel for these things.
Great call.
He does. He didn't get it by much, but he didn't. He only needed 4 yards. He got 5.
Well, you know, when you assign pass responsibilities, a lot of times you don't think of the up back, and you worry about the split guys and the guys that line up at tight end. When that guy comes out of the backfield like that, I mean, how many big plays have we seen at every level where the quarterback is out of the backfield and catches a pass? Well, that time he wasn't the quarterback, but he was the up back. Well executed.
I think that was the first time we've heard this Crooksville crowd kind of get quiet. Now they turn back up after a big stop on the first down.
Little trouble with the exchange there between Rock and Llewellyn. Nearly fumbled that football. Was able to secure it, but for no gain.
Well, the defense did a great job last time for the Ceramics. They stopped them, and they're still on defense. So now that was a great first down effort, not to give up a big play.
This Crooksville defense is playing some inspired football here in the third quarter.
A lot of hits behind the line of scrimmage for them.
Second down and long. Here's Rock. Traditional shotgun look. One of the first ones tonight. Pass caught. There goes Llewellyn out of the area to the 35. He gets the first down.
There's Jacob Hammer in coverage. We're going to get another look right here. He nearly got a hand on.
You talk about a game of inches.
Yep.
Watch this catch. Just enough.
Jacob Hammer laid out for the football and nearly got a hand on it.
You know, that was one of the first times we've seen the quarterback Rock stand in the pocket and make a throw. Usually he's moving left to right. First time he does it's a conversion, and now they're into enemy territory. Ball on the 35.
Right on the money, too.
So this will be a pitch out left. It is Will Height, and he's tackled.
This Maysville team does a lot of lateral running, not enough vertical in my opinion. They running sideline to sideline. You're just allowing the defense to pursue the running back.
Well, you know, the key to that is for that outside guy not to commit to the inside because he thinks he might make a tackle. Because that's what the blocker's waiting on. The ball carrier's waiting for him to make that mistake, and he didn't make it. And so what he does, he strings the play out, he contains it, the pursuit from the inside catches up, throws him for a 1 yard loss.
So second down and 11. Wing T look now for Maysville. In motion Llewellyn. Pressure in the face, fires, pass incomplete. That time he was looking in the direction of Matthew Harper.
Guys, didn't the Panther quarterback take most of the snaps from the shotgun in the first half?
A good bit of them, yeah.
And it seems like he's been under center most of this half.
Make some noise, Ceramic fans.
The Ceramic defensive line is winning.
Yes, they are.
At the point of attack here in the third quarter, they are really firing off the football.
Do you run it here and try to get into field goal range?
They're going to throw big time. Look out.
Feeling pressure, throws it, gets it off. Tackled and
screen pass, and it did not go anywhere.
Very well defended.
Stopped at the 37. I think the Crooksville defense caught the message at halftime. They've been able to make a couple stops.
You're going to see another look at it here. The pass rush gets on Rock immediately. He has no choice. And then the posse of black hats to make the tackle.
Jacob Hammer was the first guy there. He didn't get the man down, but he definitely destroyed the timing of the play. 4th and 12. The Ceramics need to come up with a big play here, and so do the Panthers.
3 wide receivers to the right of Rock, including a running back. He rolls to his right, eyes downfield. Pass is out of reach. There is no flag, a little bit of grabbing there, but pass was incomplete. He was going for Landon Iden. And Crooksville will take over.
Get good field position as well.
14-10, 50 seconds left here in the third quarter. Well, this is an opportunity for the Ceramics to make it a 2-score game.
And with the success they've had so far in this quarter with Brayson Hill's legs, I would expect to see a lot more of that here.
Well, he's had a long rest on that bench. I mean, the defense had to give Maysville 2 possessions on that drive. They went on the fake punt. Well, we've seen about everything from the kicking game with fake punts and field goals, block punts. So see what Coach Van Meter has under that backward ball cap. He was a heck of a free safety for me, I know that.
50 seconds before the end of the third quarter. As here comes this Crooksville offense. This is a give to Harper. And he'll get a few yards there. Rather Harvey, the running back.
I watched a feature on Gridiron Glory about Coach Van Meter, and he's also doubling as the golf coach because he was the golf coach prior to accepting the football job, and he said the only way I'll accept this football job is if you allow me to. I'm not going to turn my back on my golfers, and I think that right there tells you a lot. Tells you everything you need to know about
Nathan. I think the world of Nate. He was one of the few sophomores that started on that team that I had last, and I don't think he was ever beaten deep on a pass. An amazing feat for a sophomore.
Hill will turn around and give to Harvey again. Tackled about the 41-yard line. So that's going to do it for quarter number 3. Crooksville with a lead. They didn't have a lead or any points coming into the half. And here we are.
Now they have both.
They got the lead and points. 14-10 the score. That'll do it for quarter number 3 here from Crooksville. We'll be back with quarter number 4. We'll step aside. 14-10 your score, Crooksville lead. You're watching MVL football on South 60 Film. We welcome you back, quarter number 4 here from Crooksville. So 3rd down and 7. This is a big down.
Yes, it is. It's way too early in the 4th quarter to run the clock out. You have to still be aggressive.
So they will hand it off to the tailback that's not on our program, and he is tackled right back at the stick. So it's going to be 4th down. They're going to have to punt this one away, and Maysville's going to get another crack at it on offense.
First hit by Llewellyn.
Despite the big running play by Brayson Hill, I think the best unit on the field the second half has been the Crooksville defense.
No doubt about it.
And they've really set the tone here in this second half. And if they play another 4th quarter the way they played the 3rd, they're going to come out of here with a W.
They need to execute this punt. I don't know if they have enough guys on the field. Yeah, there's a guy right there.
So Nichols back deep to return. It's another high snap. He can't one-hand it this time. Feeling the pressure, kicks it left-footed. And it gets back to the line, and he got drilled. That is Cottrell back there. And that's not what you needed, as now Maysville gets the ball in enemy territory.
Here by week 10, you should have that punt snap down a lot better than that.
And that's one thing we've seen throughout the year from several teams, the difficulty with the long snap.
Seen it with Morgan a couple of weeks ago. Back in, I think, late September we saw that with the Raiders.
It's those little things in high school football like that can very well be the difference between a win and a loss.
So now 11-10 to play, and here comes Maysville.
Well, of all the things that Crooksville needed to have happen, that wasn't the one they wanted. They needed to punt that ball down the field and give Maysville a long field.
Rock rolling right. He's going to keep it himself, lower his shoulder.
Rock on the keeper.
Hit a couple of yards.
Good first down call, good first down execution. Positive yards in 4-down territory.
2nd down and 7.
Pick up of 3, 2nd and 7, as we're just underway in the 4th quarter here at Crooksville.
You know, guys, with that Crooksville defense pursuing like they are, this is the perfect time for that little inside counter or double reverse, whatever you want to call it, because your defense is flying to the point of attack, and a little misdirection here can go a long way.
So they motion Llewellyn to the right. Here's Rock himself again. Just leans forward and gets hit hard. Ceramic in there to make a big tackle. Sets up a 3rd down.
I think if nothing else, Craig Clark wanted to keep his offense on the field and give that defense a little breather.
And 4 yards to go. Make some noise, student section.
Definitely a story of two halves going on here. First half dominated by Maysville, and the third quarter dominated by Crooksville. Who's going to win the fourth?
So this will be a handoff to Nichols, and he is tackled in the backfield.
Wow, what a play. What a defensive play when they needed it most.
Nichols on the carry, tackled in the backfield by Browning.
That was Hunter Browning in there to make the tackle.
And 5.
One of the few seniors, I believe, on the team. His daddy was an excellent football player, too, and he's on the coaching staff.
You have 5 total seniors on this Crooksville roster.
Now, this is the big play.
4th down and 5,
This is the
under
big
10 to play, trailing by 4. Brock with a tailback to his right. Takes the snap, fires right, wide open receiver. He got a first down.
He was wide open.
So he was poised, found a big strike, pass complete for a first down. That one, Matthew Harper with the
You can never look at it. I think it's just a little simple button hook. They used to call that.
A little too much cushion on that one.
He sold the vertical route and
Yep.
turned around and just curled right back to the football.
Well executed play. He knew what he had to have for the first down. Went to the sticks, turned around, and caught the ball. Nice pass, great execution, good blocking on the play when they needed it most.
Back under center, wing 2.
So we got just under 9 minutes as this is Llewellyn to the right. Tackled after just about 2 yards there on the carry.
Llewellyn on the carry.
You know, if they can find a way to run this clock down to about, say, 4 minutes and find a way to punch it in, be in good shape.
And 9.
Yeah, this is when the chess match begins between these two head coaches. Nathan Van Meter in his first year, Craig Clark, a veteran coach. But
From a coaching standpoint, this is when you have to have a player step up. This is when a player on your defense or your offense, for whichever team, one of your players needs to stand up and make that big play.
They motion Gator Nichols, and there's going to be a false start. So
I believe so.
Trouble for the Panthers, moves them back 5.
we haven't seen a lot of pre-snap penalties in this game.
Well, it's week 10.
Yep.
And, you know, neither team is a championship quality team, but it is week 10. I mean, they've had scrimmages and 9 games coming into here, so that's good to see. It tells me both teams are getting good coaching. They're disciplined on the line. We haven't seen very many penalties of any kind, to tell you the truth.
No, we haven't.
So it's a well-played game by both squads.
7:30 to play here, quarter number 4. Crooksville with a 4-point lead. As Rock takes the snap, fires to the seam, and
did he catch that football?
It's caught for a touchdown. Crooksville claims they have the ball. We see a player coming out with the ball in his hands, but they're saying touchdown Maysville.
Wow.
So the ball was caught on the play by Landon Iden. Let's take a look. Ohio Educational Credit Union replay.
There were 2 ceramics there.
Touchdown.
I mean, simultaneous possession, I guess they're going to say, goes to the offense.
Goes to the offense.
So that's Landon Iden. An absolute dart as that ball was caught right over the middle. 2 people, 2 defenders that he fit it through. So that's now 16-14.
Excellent play. Unfortunate for Crooksville as they were in outstanding defensive position there.
All set up by the bad snap on the punt.
Harper's kick is good. It would have been good for about 50. This is now 17-14. Crooksville fans expressing their disappointment to the referees right now.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, it's not like the Crooksville defender, was it Iden? It's not like he caught the ball and rolled his back to the receiver. The receiver's chest was to the football. It was over Iden's shoulder. They both had simultaneous possession. When that ball breaks the plane in the possession of an offensive player, there's no such thing as a fumble in the end zone. I mean, that's a touchdown.
Right.
It's a great effort, great coverage, but that ball goes to the offense. As painful it is for me to say that, I hate the rules.
Those darn rules.
So now 7:24 to play, 3-point lead to Maysville. We've seen a couple lead changes already in this one. Maysville came into the halftime break up 10. And Crooksville with back-to-back touchdown drives, so 14-10 and
just 7.5 minutes to play, and we have two teams that both believe they can win the game. And that's
This one bounces off Hammer. He's going to reestablish himself, make a spin, but he's going to be tackled about the 20.
Hey.
Hammer with the return.
Yeah, one of two things happens when the guy misplays the ball like that. Either the coverage gets too far down the field and you break through it and it's a wide open field in front of you, or you get there, just get the ball just in time to get nailed, and that's what happened.
I think that's why I think the most effective kickoffs are the ones they can get down
First and 10.
outside the hash marks, inside the 10. You force that player
That's right.
to recover that ball and make a return on it.
Well, the new Lexington kickoff game is maddening. They kick it high, they kick it low, they squib it, they onside it, they kick it deep. So you really have no pattern for them. But right now, the Streamers need to pull it out.
Here's Brayson Hill trying to do it himself. Once again, at almost he broke that. I think he had daylight all the way.
He is about a step and a half away from making big yards. Well, Coach Van Meter, at this point in the game, there's nothing to hold back. I mean, they have to throw caution to the wind. They have to go for the first downs and go for move the ball down the field. They have plenty of time. 6:50 or so in the game here in the fourth quarter. 14-10, 17-14, Maysville. So
ball security has to be paramount.
Oh, buddy.
6:30 to play. This is a give to Harvey. Harvey works his way forward. He gets to about the 28-yard line before he stops. It'll bring up a third down for the Ceramics.
Ceramics would love to just run this ball and run about 6 minutes off this clock and put themselves in position to score the winning touchdown.
Well,
in a perfect world.
You're exactly right, but right now, what are you thinking as far as fourth down calls? When are you in four down territory? Are you going to punt the ball back to Maysville?
I think with this type of field position, you almost have to.
You're only, 2 yards here, maybe a yard and a half. We won't have to worry about it, I don't think.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think he is short by about a couple inches. Have to see the mark. That was Jacob Nelson on the carry.
Looks like he had to get all the way to the 30.
So it's 4th and 1. Now the decision comes.
I think Coach Van Meter is going to go for it.
I think with this short of a distance, you have no choice.
I'd like to see an old-fashioned QB sneak.
Right up
the middle, yeah. I don't like it when teams get in the shotgun formation for 1 yard.
Well, the problem with that is you're going to put your quarterback under center for the first time tonight. You risk a bad snap.
That's true. This is Hill. He's got the first down. So that will at least extend the drive for now. Just over 5 to play in the fourth quarter.
I heard a couple of guys on a Saturday afternoon doing a game, and they said the same thing. I like to see the quarterback under center. And the problem is, a lot of these quarterbacks have been quarterbacks since middle school. They've never taken a direct snap from the center. And not only that, there's a lot of guys who are coaches who don't know how to teach it anymore because they never did it either.
Wow.
So, it's a weird situation with this snap stuff.
Yeah. You just have to think you're doing your team a disservice by not being able to do it at all. I mean, it has to be part of your game plan if necessary.
I saw John Gruden interview, I think, Marcus Mariota, and asked him if had he ever taken a snap direct under the center, had he ever changed the play to the line of scrimmage, and had he ever called a play in the huddle, and Mariota said no to all three questions. And Gruden told him, you might want to bone up on that stuff because you're going to be doing it in the NFL.
Yeah. Sure will.
Second down.
Just over 4 minutes after a little bit of a run there from the running back.
There's
and
Hammer.
That's a Jacob Hammer first down. Pass complete from the quarterback Hill.
I think it's the first time he's touched the ball offensively in this game.
4 minutes.
I love the quick pass, 3-step drop. Plant your back foot in the ground, hit the little quick slant.
Guys, the right scenario, we might be getting some free football here if this is a tie game.
You go back to the block field goal. and now you could be sitting at a 17-all game. This is the quarterback, Hill. Oh, yeah, he's hard to bring down.
He is
Ball to the
slippery.
50.
He is.
That's the best word I can describe is slippery. He just, defenders get their hands on him, but they're unable to get him to the ground.
Second down and 5.
You know, Coach, it goes back to taking a lot of time off the clock. We're at 3:30 now.
That's
We're
right.
going 40 seconds every time. I mean, there could be a problem later on.
I think
They're only at the 50.
Coach Van Meter says, win or lose, I want to be the last one to possess the football.
Yes, so.
We saw this just before the halftime break. They're just taking their sweet time.
And I saw Ohio State do this a couple weeks ago. The quarterback stopped the clock. And
Throw out right to Hammer. He's going to lateral, a little hook and ladder. And staying on his feet, trying to get a couple more yards. He's just going to get 2 all told.
well, they're fortunate to have that.
Yeah, they are. That could have been a disaster.
Oh, they had disaster written all over it.
It was Brayson Hill who ended up with it, the quarterback. So
As it stands, a 3-yard gain.
That's the first time I've seen the hook and ladder with the quarterback getting the ball on the lateral. Usually it's another wide receiver.
I think it's the first time I've seen it when it wasn't the last play of the game.
I tell you.
I saw Rosecrans run it a couple years ago. I think it was either last year or the year before. It was a big 68-60 game, and they worked it to perfection. This is Hill. He's getting thrown in the backfield. He throws it out.
Incomplete pass.
Incomplete. Oh, he said he's down. No, incomplete pass.
Wow.
So he's lucky there as the clock stopped at 2:14, but more importantly, it wasn't a sack on this 4th down. It'll be 4th and 2.
And we are 2 minutes and 14 seconds left to play already.
Crooksville burns one of those timeouts, even though the clock stopped. But you got to think big play here on 4th down.
There's no reason to keep those timeouts in your pockets now.
That's just the first time out in the second half taken by either team. Maysville will steal all 3 of theirs. Coach Van Meter have 2 left after this.
Well, I have to believe that Coach Clark is going to have his defense in full attack mode here, coming from the outside, putting pressure to stop that quarterback keep. And I think if the Ceramics try to string something out, they'll get trapped. I think if they hit something really direct and quick, they have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, number 15 is going to be the focus of this down right here for the Maysville defense.
Oh, you bet.
That's why a little option play to the edge would work pretty well, possibly if every defender goes and chases 15. If he has a pitch man to bail him out.
Well, that was what that guy was there, but he turned up the field, and Brayson Hill had enough poise to throw a forward pass. If this plays a 1st down, that play on 3rd down may have saved the game.
2 wide receivers to the left for Hill. He's going to keep it himself and tripped up and brought down. Big play from the defense there is Llewellyn of the Panthers as Hill is put to the ground and the Panthers will take over.
Biggest defensive play of the game right there, made by the Maysville Panthers, number 7.
Well, I thought that the Panthers would send somebody, probably 2 guys. I think they just sent 1.
He was unblocked.
Yeah, they sent him across right now to disrupt the play, and that hesitation on the offensive line play on that call. Those are the kind of plays that when someone sends an unblocked defender across the line of scrimmage, boy, your ball carriers are sitting duck.
Yep. And
that's exactly what Hill was on that call.
22, Eli Harvey had a chance to pick up the blitz out of the backfield, and he just ran right by him.
2:10 to go here. Several Crooksville fans making their ways to the exit.
This one's not over quite yet.
Here is Rock on the carry. Quarterback keeper forward. He gets 8 yards on the toes. So.
That may be Rock's best carry of the night, and it couldn't come at a better time for the Panthers.
Yeah, because really all the Panthers need really is 1 first down.
Timeout. Ceramics.
So Crooksville really needed to button up there on that 1st and 10 play, and Maysville was able to garner 6 yards, putting them in good position.
2nd down and 4.
I'll tell you what, it's been a well-played football game.
I agree.
I'm impressed with both teams come out and put out this kind of effort in Week 10 in a season that neither team's going to look back with great fond memories as far as how the outcome finished. Both teams, I think, are going to finish 4-6 if Maysville can hang on to this football.
Both these teams fairly young. Maysville hit hard by graduation a year ago, but I think this year the MVL just top to bottom, a lot of solid teams. There was no off weeks in the MVL this year.
No, not at all.
So it was marked as a 6-yard gain. So 2nd down and 4 here.
2:04 to play. Maysville
2nd down and 4.
17-14.
Rock motions Nichols. It'll be Rock again. And he's hit, and he's not going to have the first down. So
Rock with the keeper, tackled by Thompson.
Good safe calls, though. Close to a first down. They're not risking a handoff of any kind.
Down and 1.
Just
Timeout, Ceramics.
snap the ball to the quarterback and get what you can.
Crooksville just used their 3rd and final timeout there, Coach. So Maysville picks up 1 yard here on 3rd or 4th down. It's going to put this game to bed.
1:58 to play.
After that 6-yard gain on 1st down, I thought Coach Van Meter might wait,
Well,
but you're running out of time at that point.
we practice every situation we could think of. We even practiced taking a knee at the end of the game. And so we had to call, take a knee on one. And so I won't name the tackle that did it, but our right tackle on the snap took a knee.
He took it literally.
And then we ran it again, and he did it again. So I told Coach Fell, who's coached our tackles, I said, man, that's a great job, Tom. I said, a lot of guys can't get your tackles to do that.
He listens to instructions.
So Rock again. He's
It's
tackled.
going to be close. I don't think he got it. The near judge is marking him for a loss.
Yeah, he is short. So 4th down. You got to go for it here, right?
Wow.
Just get the 1 yard.
4th down.
I mean, what a big play.
Clock will go to about 1:15, 1:10.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Clark lets his clock run down as far as it can. Then he calls a timeout. Then he'll come over the sideline and talk to the guys. Say, guys, all you got to do is get a snap and the game's over.
Yeah, they have no intention on running a play right now. 10 seconds on the play clock.
I think you got to go for it, because then you could factor in, a block punt. Could it be an over snap and put yourself in a bad spot? I know we've seen a great punting so far from Larimer and company, but not sure what they'll do here.
1 minute and 6 seconds officially left on the game clock. Maysville needs 1 yard to put this game away. I'll tell you what, that Crooksville defensive line has played well in this second half.
Yes, they have. Well, the game came down to a mistake in the special teams when the Ceramics couldn't get that punt away. Ball snapped over the punter's head. He tried to punt it left-footed, and I think
They've
about a 2-yard punt.
They've had a field goal blocked.
Yeah, field goal blocked. So, that kicking game is so important. And it's really difficult for young teams to master that stuff. That's you have to put so much time in on offense and defense that sometimes your special teams suffer when you have such a young team.
4th down.
Well, it's not going to be a punt, fellas.
So 4th down and 1:06. The first down would seal it. And I think this is going to be all Rock here. Takes the snap, rolls right, and he's going to have it. So that'll do it. The Maysville Panthers pick up the first down. No flags on the ground.
First down.
Great call, because on defense you have to stop the sneak. They've run it 2 times in a row. The quarterback right up the middle. That's a nice call by Coach Clark to seal this win.
Yeah, risky call. I was expecting something between the tackles. That's probably everyone in the stadium probably was
sure.
as well. So,
that's right.
You're right, Coach. He's wearing the headset down on the sidelines for a reason.
I think that's one of the big differences in football today is the quarterback is a running threat without really having the option game. He's just a runner in almost every offense out there.
So Rock takes the knee, and that will do it. Here from Crooksville. So Maysville wins back-to-back games to finish their year. They win against Meadowbrook, and they win here against Crooksville. So 2 great wins to ride into the offseason. As for Crooksville, they've lost 5 straight to end their year after winning 4, going 4-1 to open the year.
Some awful good teams in that Final 5 that Crooksville played. New Lexington, West Muskingum, Philo, this Maysville team. There's some good teams they played. So
So that'll do it here from Crooksville. The final score, Maysville 17, Crooksville 14. Saw a little bit of everything, and we'll be back here on South 60 Films. We will bring you the City Tire Pros Player of the Game as we wrap up here from Crooksville, our final regular season week. Maysville 17, Crooksville 14. You've been watching MVL Football on South 60 Films. Okay.
Our sponsors again tonight.
All right, we welcome you back into the broadcast booth. Doug Clifford, Ted Snyder, Dylan Kearns here with you. Well, guys, we were treated to, I'd say, a pretty good football game. You know, we came into this one, both teams towards the bottom of the division and what they bring, but let's take a look at some of the highlights in this game. As we look on the Crooksville side, that was a big kick to start the game for Matthew Harper on the Panthers. I mean, that was just couldn't believe that he made that kick.
Well, that's the difference in the game, 3 points.
Yeah, the 3 points right there was definitely something to keep in mind. Now on the Maysville side of the ball, this was Rock throwing deep. He connected well downfield with his receiver. That was the one that caught it earlier, Landon Iden. And then, of course, the pitch play, Llewellyn works his way in the end zone. So, Llewellyn found the end zone. So it was all Maysville early in this one. Then they kick it away, and you got the big return from Jacob Hammer.
Yeah, Jacob Hammer has been a bright spot in the special teams unit all year. This is what he does best. Patient behind his blocking and then use his speed once he gets in the open field. If it wasn't for Gator Nichols, number 3 right there, that would have been 6 for Crooksville.
Well, that was a big play because they don't score on this possession.
And then we see the Crooksville offense. That ball was thrown up after being hit. Right there for the interception was Llewellyn. So Llewellyn has his fingertips all over this one. But then Crooksville, they come out and they try to make some plays on offense as well. This was another deep ball that was intercepted.
Well, once again, the quarterback was bumped by one of the pass rushers, and the ball kind of floated for the interception.
This was right out of the halftime break for Crooksville. Finding the end zone on the carry was Hunter Hurst. He scored, and then the light show began, so he was able to find the end zone there. And then right there, the big play of the game. Who had possession? I guess we'll never know, as that was brought down by Iden for the touchdown, which ended up being the game sealer right there for Maysville. Then, of course, Crooksville had the play where he tripped up in the backfield. Great stop by Llewellyn. So he had the defensive play with the interception, and then, of course, he had the stop to seal the game on defense, and then he has the touchdown run. His fingerprints were all over this one. Coach, what did you like from both teams? Crooksville to show that fight out of the halftime break.
I think that's the thing I take away from this game. Both teams came out and played a very spirited game, like the league championship was on the line. And you couldn't ask more from your team. You can only ask them to give their best, and I think we got the best from both teams.
And, Ted, on the Maysville side of things, you look forward into the offseason now. I know a lot of guys play basketball. They got their season starting up. But on the Maysville side, you come out, win your last 2 games of the season, maybe some momentum for this program that has struggled a little bit, and now they're finding their footing.
Yeah, they lost their 2-year starting quarterback last year to graduation, Alex Bobb, so this is all new to Cade Rock and Gator Nichols being the primary playmaker, so it took them a while to adjust, but they're playing their best football here in the last few weeks of the season. Too bad it's coming to an end, because I'm sure the Panthers would love to play a couple more games.
And we want to tell you right now, the City Tire Pros player of the game is going to go to Cohen Llewellyn. We talk about his rushing touchdown, the stop on defense there to seal the deal, and, of course, an interception in this game as well. And he had a big kick return we didn't show you, so
That's right.
He was all over the place in what he was able to bring. But the final score here is Maysville 17, Crooksville 14. That is going to be the final score. We have a lot of content coming up for you on South 60 Films. A volleyball game, New Lexington tomorrow, a playoff game there, something to keep in mind as they take on Adena. That's going to be big. And then next week, guys, week 1 of the playoffs. New Lexington will be at that game, and then, of course, West Muskingum will be at their football game as well.
That's where you and I will be at.
We'll be at West M, and then
catch Coach
over at New Lex.
I get to climb the ladder of death in the press box again.
We will also be on the roof more likely than
very excited for playoffs to begin
at West. Yeah, so a lot to look forward to. All that content right here for you on South 60 Films. But that'll do it for our regular season of broadcasts. We've been through 10 weeks, and that'll wrap it up. Once again, Doug Clifford, Ted Snyder, Dylan Kern saying goodnight from Crooksville. The Ceramics falling on senior night by 3, 17-14. You've been watching MVL Football on South 60 Films.